Good morning. How are you, Marguerite?
Hello, Sharaf. I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, thanks. It was amazing last week when we had this conversation about the introduction about transactional analysis, and
Hmm.
here we are again in the episode two, and
Mm,
this is the
mm.
second week, and we're talking about other concepts in transactional analysis, and it's always a pleasure to have you here and connect with our audience to talk about some new aspects and talk about. I believe it's today. It's about it's I'm okay or not okay, or I'm okay or okay.
That's right.
This concept, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. One of my favorites, I must say. I love it very much.
yeah. So amazing.
Yeah.
So where do you like to start today?
I think let's start with the concept. So we do have I've produced a couple of slides that we you can put up for me, and I'll talk through the life positions because that's the concept is known as life positions, and then we can take it from there and just see where it takes us.
Okay,
There we
good
go.
idea.
All
Okay.
right.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so life positions, the important thing, the first thing to understand about this concept is that we're not, when we say I'm okay, you're okay. We're not talking about whether we are good or bad, or healthy and strong, or weak, it's and unwell. We're not talking about those ideas. We're talking about self-esteem, self-worth, and the belief that every human being has a right to dignity and respect, no matter who they are. So I might, let's use COVID for an example at the moment. I might not be feeling okay because I might have COVID, but I am still okay because I'm worthy of dignity and respect, and I believe in my own esteem and the esteem of others. So that is an important thing to understand about this concept. Um, and in the concept, there are four possible life positions. Let me explain life positions. This is again where we spoke last week about our childhood and what we learn and the decisions we make in childhood. So, as children, we're looking out and we're learning about the world and we're learning about what is okay to do and what is okay to think and how it is okay to be and what is not okay. We learn that from our family, we learn that from schools, friends, caregivers, and we take on a life position depending on what we discover in our early years. So let me start with the most beautiful life position and the one to which we all aspire, which is the I'm okay, you're okay life position. So in that position, we call it the get on with position. So it's the top right, there you go, the get on with position where we are optimistic. We have a healthy attitude towards others and toward ourselves. We have balanced relationships. And when we're in that position, we will look to solve problems. So this is a position where we don't blame, we don't find fault. We don't, when something goes wrong, we don't say, who did that? All we say is, okay, that has happened. What can we do to solve it? What is needed to solve the problem? Um, it is, I say it's the most beautiful life position because if you think about it, and Sharaf, maybe you know people who you've been with who seem to live in that position all the time. And whenever you come into their presence, you feel a warmth, a glow, a beautiful feeling, a sense of being really welcome with them. And it doesn't matter whether they are greater than or less than whoever they are with, they always seem to maintain this dignity and this respect for themselves and for others. Um, Whenever I ask this question to people in the South African context, many people refer to, um, oh, that's
Yeah,
echoing.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Is it stopped? Yeah. Um, Many people, when I ask them who can they think of, they refer to Nelson Mandela. And they
Mm.
describe Mandela as being a man that, no matter who you were, if you were in his presence, you felt that you were equal to him. And Mandela was such a great man and a world famous leader. And people described that it didn't matter who they were, they always felt completely equal and dignified in his presence, which is the beauty of the thing. But let's move on to the other life positions. Perhaps
Well,
sometimes we might.
can we
Yes,
say
yes,
that
Sharaf.
here? Yeah, in I'm okay, you're okay. It's a place of trust. It's a place of
Yeah.
confiance. It's a place of connecting.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, maybe there. I believe that's getting on this kind of place. I believe it's a part where we connect with chemicals that with our brain chemicals,
mm,
like it's more
mm,
we get better
mm,
hormones, like better empathy, like getting
mm-hmm.
oxytocin, things like that.
Yeah,
Serotonin, yeah,
dopamine.
dopamine, yeah.
Yes, yes,
Does it
yes.
inflict how we connect and how we deal with our neurochemistry and neuroscience? Does it have any place there?
I imagine that it would do. I don't know enough about neuroscience, but I imagine, and even if I apply it to myself, that when I'm in that I'm okay, you're okay space with someone, there
Mm.
definitely is that sense of calmness. There's also an ability to think and act almost, I
Hmm.
want to say, intelligently. And why I'm going there is that I know that I've been in the spaces with people who are in a different life position. Say they're in an I'm okay, but you're not okay life position. And if I'm with someone like that and they are in that position where they make people feel you're not okay and they're the only one worthy of dignity and respect, I've noticed how people lose their ability to think and contribute freely. And if we
Wow.
can't think, that's a sign that the neocortex is not functioning well. And it's a sign that we've gone into fight or flight, where
Wow.
we don't think, we just react. So I do
Okay.
think that if we can get a person into I'm okay, you're okay, they will not be in their fight or flight limbic system having what we call the amygdala hijack, the brain hijacks your thinking capacity. They
Hmm.
will be able to think, they will be able to contribute.
Oh.
And it's great that you mentioned that, because I think for people in leadership and management, that is so important for them to realize that if I lead and manage in an I'm okay, you're not okay, you're the subordinate, I tell you what to do,
Oh. Okay.
that we will not encourage thinking
So
because they
so
will go into fight or flight.
Okay, so if we go to the limbic system and actually
Mm,
start connecting in fear, fight or flight, or this kind of
mm.
survival mode, we will go to one of the three other positions, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
So okay,
exactly. So if we are in a fight or flight and we are fearful, we might be in the I'm not okay, you're okay position. So if I
okay,
was frightened by you, I would not be feeling worthy of dignity or respect. My self esteem would take a dip, and I would feel that I'm not okay and that you're okay, but I'm not. I must follow you. I must do what you tell me because you are better than me. You are greater than me. So yeah, let's have a look at that piece of the slide where the if I'm in a I'm not okay, you are okay, then I would want to get away from. So that's that limbic system, fight or flight, the flight response. I would want to get away from you. I would be looking for approval. I would undervalue myself and I would feel inadequate within myself. I might think things like, I wish I could be as good as you. And when things go wrong, I would blame me
oh,
for them. So there would be a blame, and the blame would be pointing the finger at myself if I was in that position. I might, though, even be in the I'm okay, no, I'm not okay, you're not okay. So that's underneath that piece. I'm not okay and you're not okay, where I feel bad about myself and you. And with that one, I would blame everyone, and we would get nowhere in that condition. I wouldn't want to even bother with you because I would just believe it's not worth it. In that position, I would feel a lot of despair and rejection. And you would hear words like, this is so terrible. We'll never make it. We'll never be able to do this. So that would be that life position.
hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
and this kind of position, it happens inside a person who is actually putting himself or herself in this position. It may not be the same on the other side, or does it happen on the two sides at the same time? And this dynamic, does it, is
Yeah.
it transferred, is it sensed, is it, does it happen at the two sides at the same time? Is it happening one
Mm,
place and not
mm,
happening on the other place? Yeah.
mm, mm. Yeah, so such interesting questions, Sharaf. I suppose we could use a scenario for that. So I might start out in I'm okay, you're okay on the day. And
Okay.
then I come into contact with somebody who's in a different life position.
Hmm.
They might be in the, let's say they're in the I'm not okay and you're not okay. So their message to me would be that they do not believe in themselves. They do not have self-worth, a sense of self-worth. And they do not believe in my self-worth or dignity either. Now, how would that affect me and how would that affect my life position? It might, I would pull me out of my okay space, and I might go into something that sees this, and I could go into any of them. I could go to, oh, this person, so depressed, so negative, and start blaming them. And then I've switched to, I'm still okay, but they're not okay. That's one of the options that I might go into. Or I might join them in, I'm not okay, and they're not okay, and we both become miserable together. So
Okay.
it depends. Yeah, so that I'm okay, you're not okay space we haven't even talked about yet. That's the last one to talk about, where I want to get rid of that person because they're so negative that I just wipe them off the face of the earth. I don't want them near me. And then when I'm in that position, I would be critical, mistrustful, angry, frustrated. I would want to say, you're not doing that right. You don't think like I think. Or maybe I have to show you or take over from you. And then I would be in the blaming others position. There can be, and you can see my little picture in the bottom corner there, where I might be blaming them and they could be in the same position blaming me. So we both think, oh, I'm okay. You're the one that's wrong.
Okay.
So the life positions, we can move around them depending on what we are experiencing in one day. But what you will find is that we have a tendency. So while one person, when things are tough, might shift into I'm not okay, another person might shift into you're not okay, depending on the decision we took early in life. And
Okay.
that will be our tendency. I always talk about the situation maybe where um, you might arrive at work and you come in and I'm okay, you're okay, and you're feeling good about yourself and others. And then somebody says to you, oh, there's a big meeting. They're calling a meeting. I think they're going to retrench us. And this person is very terrified and they're going, I can't afford to lose my job and I don't think I can attend. And you see that they're in, I'm not okay. There's something wrong. Another person is saying, how dare they? If they want to retrench us, we're going to the union. And they're saying, they're okay, but management is not okay. So two people are in the two different life positions, and that's because of their tendency. You might get another person who stays in I'm okay, you're okay, and goes, all right, but let's go to the meeting. We might be able to negotiate something, and we don't even know what this is about yet.
Hmm.
And the fourth life position might say, oh no, I'm not okay, they're not okay. Management always does this to me. I'm just going to leave. And they will not even attend the meeting at all. So, can you see how some will come out fighting, others will come out in defense, and
Yeah.
others will stay in okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I recall this, and at some point of my life, it was in my beginning of my career. One of the managers told me, "Why are you so defensive? Why do you come to me while you're giving
Ah.
excuses?"
Mm.
So, yeah, I started working on that for some time, and
Mm.
actually, I thought
It's
that this was
interesting.
always a way to avoid being punished. Here in our culture, in a way, there
Yes.
was
Okay.
always there is, the assumption is you did something bad. So, what kind of bad did you come with? So you have to tell
Hmm.
you
I
did something
see.
different. So the exception here,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it's something in the culture that's called, that السيئة تعم, which is the bad thing is something that goes generic among everyone.
Mm.
Everybody will actually
Mm.
be harmed and hurt and actually punished. And
Mm.
those who did the good things will
Mm.
be dealt with exceptionally. The exception is that you're
Mm.
doing a good thing and you're acknowledged for. So this is
Mm.
something, it's called السيئة تعم, and the الحسنة تخص, or the it's very special and private when you did something that's. So I wanted always to seek
Wow.
the being a perfect person, a good person. So I
Mm.
know that it was an
Mm.
exception.
Mm.
So
That's fascinating. Yeah.
so I could
Yeah.
put forward what I did good before even the other person asks, so that I
I
put
see.
outside the punishment zone.
Yeah. Right. Right. So there's an expectation of punishment. So I have to tell you I've done good. I am good. So
Yeah.
that's okay. Yeah. You know,
It's part of the
Sharaf, that
schooling
what
system, by the way, that we got appraised.
really
Yes.
isn't that fascinating? My goodness, that's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so interesting from a TA perspective. Sharaf,
Yeah.
can you put the slides away so I can see you
Yes.
better
Yes.
and we can chat?
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yay. Um, because I'm hearing something that is another TA concept called drivers,
Yeah.
and the drivers are about it's linked to the I'm okay, you're okay, because it's a decision we take again in childhood that says, but if I'm how do I get by? How do I make sure that I'm okay in this world? And we make a decision, and these drivers are called, there's the try hard. So I'm okay as long as I try hard. Another one is I'm okay as long as I'm perfect. I have to be perfect, and then I'm
Ah,
okay. Another
okay.
one is I'm okay if I please people. And another one is I'm okay if I be strong. And
Oh.
there's one more. Which one is it? Hurry up. I'm only okay if I hurry up. But in terms of the story you've just told me, I think I heard 4 of the drivers. I must please people. So I must
Yeah.
show that I'm always good. I'm good, I'm good. And that pleases
Yeah.
them. Then I'm not in trouble. I must be perfect all the time so that I'm not in trouble. I must try hard to be perfect all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Those 3, I think. And also,
Yes.
there's something about I've also got to be strong,
Yeah.
something in there about being strong all the
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
That's 4 drivers
Yeah.
that drive and the belief that this is how you have to be all the time. And what TA teaches is that those drivers are beliefs that we took on a long time ago, and they aren't necessarily true. And the way I always say is, if I believe that I'm only okay, I'm only worthy of dignity if I'm pleasing other people, what about the other people who are not in that driver, who don't please others? They're okay. They're worthy of respect and dignity, so why aren't I? Or what about the person who isn't always perfect? If they're worthy of dignity, then why aren't I? So they're not real. They're made up, you
Yeah.
know?
And
Yeah.
I want to add something, that during this journey, and I believe that I'm still healing until now. I believe this discussion was
Mm,
something around 2005. Now it's 16 years. I believe it
yeah.
costed me a lot, when I was
Wow.
working as a leader, working as a husband. It made me actually, and sometimes, and some people told me that you're a bottomless pit. You don't get pleased easily, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
And
Yeah.
this was something
And you
I
were
stretch
trained
people,
to be that way.
and to the limit that they actually sometimes they break up for me. This
Yeah.
was my
Yeah.
beginning, the first years as a leader and manager for some people. And actually,
Mm,
yeah, it was really. And then I saw this, and I'm seeing this pattern happening with lots of my generation as leaders. It's happening
mm,
with their
yeah.
subordinates, happening with
Yeah.
their organizations.
Mm,
On the other side, I'm as a parent, as a husband, I lost
mm,
maybe, in lots of cases I always put the blame on the other person without, just to
mm,
act nice,
mm,
and
mm,
accepting that I'm not always the good doer. I'm not always the person
mm,
who's, yeah. And I'm
mm,
not bossing around with, with me putting the things in perspective and arranging
mm,
things in a way that makes no
mm,
excuse that what I did is is the thing,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
and
interested in what was the turning point? How did you, what caused you to change that perspective?
I believe it
Was there
was
a turning point?
the discussion I had with my mentor back in 2005,
Mm,
2006. I recall
mm,
that.
mm.
And the other part is connecting with my emotions afterwards and understanding the shadow
Yeah,
side. That's what
yeah,
this was in
yeah.
2014,
Fantastic.
2015, 2016. Yeah.
Mm,
And
mm,
addressing my emotions, actually, as a male, actually it was really a turning point for my masculinity, for my understanding of my shadow side, understanding good and bad,
mm,
evil.
mm, mm,
This
mm.
the kinds of polarities that are the complexity of who I am was
Yes,
totally,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
And there was a bit of playfulness back in 2010, 2011 when I played with, and actually it's a mix of things. It was stations, and it was a healing journey. It
Mm,
was not easy.
mm. No, yeah.
Mm,
Wow, but really profound, very profound. You
yeah,
make me think of one of the quotes that I showed you earlier, a Carl Jung quote about the importance of recognizing the shadow within us. Knowing
yeah,
your own darkness, there it is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. And that quote talks to me of life positions, that we are capable and what we are capable of when we believe that I'm okay and you're not okay, and how dangerous that can be. We
yeah,
use words in TA that are easy to understand, the use of the word I'm okay, but actually they're very profound. The meaning beneath them is about this kind of thing, about knowing the darkness and the danger of that I'm okay, you're not okay life position, and what we're capable of doing when we're in that position.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, and your story is just so intriguing from the point of view that that is what you were taught, you know,
yeah,
and we
and
we do the best we can with what we were taught.
yeah,
And at some stage in life, we can change it. We can realize, wow, that's no longer applicable in the here and now in
yeah.
today's world. Yeah.
Actually, it's when we talk about our generation, the generation that
Mm,
mostly were appraised in my period, and actually when we talk
mm,
about, especially when we talk about technical people like engineers, like computer science, and males,
yeah.
because the tech industry,
Mm,
those who
mm, mm,
mostly I work with, they have the same issue mostly. It's they tap around the same theme because we were always the good students, the ones who were doing
mm.
the good doers, who entered engineering schools, and they were always,
Yes, yes,
and in a
yeah,
way, we try to be perfect in delivering our,
yes.
and effective, efficient in delivering our delivery, and
Mm,
actually taking the
mm,
steps
mm,
up there in leadership, and still having
mm,
these same issues. It doesn't help. I believe that, yeah, it actually, it needs a lot of inner work to heal and get out
mm,
of this and
mm.
move along with it.
Yeah, yeah. And there's something about the switch is not to lose your sense of your own okayness.
Yeah.
That's not what you're being asked to do. It's very important to hold on to the knowledge that I am worthy of dignity and respect. I do not have to put myself in a one down position because I have in the past done X, Y, and Z, but to stay in I'm okay, but simply to elevate others to that you're okay too position. So we
Yes.
are okay. That's the work. And the difference in people, I'm sure that you would have seen it and noticed how people around you would have just warmed and grown and developed so much more quickly when you're in and showing them and giving them that sense that they are okay in your presence, and it doesn't matter if they did not achieve what you achieved.
Yes.
um yeah, yeah,
Yes.
and
Totally.
that your achievements are still valuable and
Yeah.
recognized and amazing, and the other person is also very as okay as you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I believe that time passed very swiftly, and we only talked about just
Oh,
one point. We have lots of things that we prepared for today.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
sure how this happened.
We did, yeah. What a pity.
So I believe that maybe we can extend next time also to continue talking about this concept for the
Okay.
next episode.
Yeah, yeah. Let's
So
look at
that would,
that, and yeah, we could extend and maybe then move into something. We'll see where it goes.
okay, that's amazing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
actually, we had this. Yeah, I believe that this program that you have, which is the Transaction Analysis 101,
Mm,
is
mm,
something that I believe that we maybe for maybe you can talk about it for 1 minute or something or 2 minutes, because I believe that
mm.
it's
All right,
coming in
thanks.
for the next. Yeah,
It is. It is.
yeah,
Yeah, so I run a program called the TA 101, and it is where we introduce you to all the concepts of transactional analysis, and there are quite a lot. Um, and it's very interactive. There's lots of discussion, and people come from with different uh, wishes. They want to learn about parenting or coaching, or how can I use it at work, or leadership, or self-awareness, personal development, and the conversation goes from there. And I'm running it. The next one will be on Tuesday mornings in September. It's 12 Tuesday mornings for 2 hours, each Tuesday for 12. Yeah, and that'll
yeah.
be my last one for the year. And
Mm.
I'll run them again next year because they're truly beautiful, and I really would love to encourage everyone to join me.
And I'm joining it. Yeah,
Yes, I'm
yeah,
so
I'm joining it.
pleased. I'm
Yeah.
so pleased. Bring a few people with you.
Thank you. Yeah. So actually, I hope that anyone who wants to contact Marguerite for actually her experience in working with transactional analysis, with the conflicts in the organizations, with actually with working with the interrelationships, and actually for the TA 101 program or the advanced programs also, Marguerite is actually. I believe that I'm learning from you each and every week, and I'm enjoying it. And I hope every one of our
Great.
audience is too. And today we only
Mm.
finished only one item of the promised items. We will
Oh,
pick
there's so
it out.
many. Yeah.
Yeah,
And we could talk about just that one item for a lot longer. So yeah, it's an incredibly deep subject.
yes,
Thanks so
and
much, though, Sharaf. I really enjoy talking with you and learning as I listen to you as well. Um, yeah, so thank you
thank you,
for that.
Marguerite. Yeah, thank you, and it's always amazing, how we bring this energy, this experience, and what do you like to maybe brief like a learning from today's, this 25 minutes or
Mm,
30 minutes discussion, just a last
mm,
words for
mm.
you, just to
Yeah.
brief it up or maybe put it in a perspective.
Yeah, I think that from this discussion, something that is going to stay with me is the importance of the sense that I'm okay and you're okay. I'm worthy of dignity and respect, and so are you, and that we can equalize that, and not give away parts of ourselves when we think, oh, I've done wrong. What we have done, we have done, we are still okay. And then go about elevating others. That's the thing that came for me out of today's conversation quite strongly.
And so it's a part as if it's part of personal acceptance, forgiveness. It's a
Mm,
continuous
yes,
healing and tap on the back. We are okay.
yes,
Yeah, we don't have
absolutely. Love it.
to just punish
Yeah.
ourselves or get
Mm,
or
mm,
expect being
mm.
punished as part of the.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. Thank you, Marguerite, for this
Great.
wisdom
Thank you
and
so
sharing
much,
it.
Sharaf.
And have a beautiful morning. Thank you.
Yes, you too. And I'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.